What's up, guys? I'm Grandmaster Shaymin, and welcome back to Flower Paradise. And today we have another episode of our Robotics Notes Elite playthrough. If you guys are excited, make sure you guys hit that like button. It would be very appreciated. Without further ado, we're just going to jump on into it. As we've got some interesting stuff going on. As we've got the current plans for the Gunvero prototype Model 1. So here we go.
頑張れる試作1号機をまともに動かすためのメモ？何これ？
僕なりにまとめてみた提案です。
4 days after joining the club, Subaru finally visited the clubroom by his own will. But as soon as he appeared, he gave me these notes. Most people don't hand out stuff like this on paper these days, so I'm a little
なんで
surprised.
そんなにムスッとしてるかな。せっかく部室に来たんだからくつろいでいってくれていいのに。あ、スコール飲む？
こんなウサギ小屋以下の環境でよく平然としていられますね。
Rabbit shed. Well, this place was a storage room once, so he's not that far off.
案外人は環境に適応できる生き物なのさ。ガンツクワンを作るならハンガーがあるしね。部室の場所にはそんなにこだわらないかな。
そうですか。そういう考え方自体、負け犬根性が染みついているということですね。惨めさ丸出しですよ。
Uh-huh.
むっこー。
He always has to say things in the meanest way possible.
僕は部長のぬるま湯に使ったようなやり方に付き合うつもりはありませんから。相手が先輩だろうと部長だろうとそんな立場は一切考慮しません。そのつもりで提案を見てください。
じゃあ会が来たら。
そう言っても30分近く経ってるんですが。
おかしいな。会って部活サボることはこれまでなかったんだよ。まあ部活のことはちっとも手伝ってくれないけど。
That's true, he isn't very helpful when he's here, but... Seriously, where did he go? He vanished right after class yesterday, too. He's not answering my calls or messages. Nothing like this has ever happened before. I'm feeling weird about this. Maybe it's because we're always together. The look on Subaru's, The look Subaru's giving me just screams, get on with it.
わかったよ。読むってば。でもメールでくれればよかったのに。
メールアドレスを知りませんから。
聞いてくれれば教えたよ。
いちいち聞くのも面倒だったので。
I urge the resist to tell him off while I look over the proposal. Let's see.
口頭でも説明します。
ああ、そうして。
Okay. Now I don't actually have to read
具
it.
体的に何が言いたいかというと、試作1号機の設計コンセプトの変更です。
変更って。
昨日部長が渡してくれた設計図を見せてもらいましたが、予想通り時代
The way he puts it makes me really
そ
angry.
れは仕方ないよ。設計図が書かれたのは9年前なんだもん。
ええ、10年前に高校生が書いたにしては悪くない。それだけです。
10年前じゃなくて9年前。
I mean, technically she's right, but...
10年前の巨大ロボットといえばただ立ってるだけ、またはせいぜい首が動くだけでよかった。お台場に立ってたガンバムみたいにね。でも今は違います。ロボットブームだって騒がれてるぐらいなんですから。世界各国が国家プロジェクトとして大金をつぎ込んで巨大ロボットを作ってる、そういう時代です。こんな状況でロボ部は生意気にも万博に出展することを目論んでいる。そうですね。
See, I've played Civilization 6 enough to know that, once you get your super giant death robots, it's easy to take down entire fortresses, entire cities, entire civilizations with just one giant robot. Usually you want like 3 or 4, but
もちろん。そして出るからには勝つ。チャキーン。あ、今鼻で笑った。
寝言は寝て言え という言葉を部長には送りますよ。
性格悪。
さっき言いましたよね。たとえ相手が先輩だろうと部長だろうと、そんな立場は一切考慮しないと。
I mean, with that attitude, he's gonna have a rough time once he gets a job because that's like really important. I don't know, maybe he realizes that and he just doesn't care about upperclassmen, but I mean, if he gets a job and he talks like this to his boss, he's gonna be in big trouble. And that dude's actually paying him.
さすがに国家プロジェクトで作っているロボットに勝つ方法なんてありません。予算の規模、関わってる人数、どちらも桁違いの差がありますから。巨大ロボット、例えばガンバムを本気で作る場合、どれだけのお金がかかるか知っていますか？
Gunbum, yeah.
1000万円くらい？
That's what, $100,000? No, we're talking about probably billions of dollars, right?
10年くらい前の資産ですが、
Yeah.
材料費だけで約800億円です。
So that's about well, that's actually not too bad. It's about 800 million US dollars. Because again, you take away 2 zeros to get about as much as it would be in American dollars. So 80 billion would drop to 800 million, which I think is actually a low ball. I think for a giant robot that would actually work, you'd be talking about probably around maybe, 10 to 15 billion US dollars. So we're talking maybe 150 billion yen. More than likely. Oh no, that'd be 1.5 trillion yen. That's probably how much I think it would probably cost to build a functional giant robot that could actually do stuff. Like maybe 800 billion yen for a glorified piece of hardware, but a glorified, chunk of metal. But for an actual functional robot that's that big with functional parts and that can move properly, probably talking even more than that.
さすがにガンバムはファンタジすぎるので、各国が今作っているロボはもう少し控えめの予算でしょうが、それでも100億はくだらないでしょうね。現実について思い知ってもらえましたか？
はい。
ちなみに試作1号機は今のところどれくらいのお金を使ったんですか？
Most of its exterior was constructed using recompressed scraps from the club got for free. The only thing we've spent money on are the servo motors in its waist. With all that considered,
全部で100万円くらいかな。ロボアンの賞金が来月すぐに使えたなら開発費はこの倍になったんだけど。
but I'm trying not to think about that anymore. If I do, I don't know if I'll be able to stop myself from busting down the door to the principal's office. I'm not gonna let this get me down.
100万円も200万円も変わりませんよ。各国のロボに比べればどちらもはした金です。
To be fair, she's built the entire legs of the robot on just 1 million yen. Which, I mean, grant you, the difference also is time. Time is money, and it's been 9 years that they've been able to get parts and put together an entire lower half of the Gundam's body. But I think that's pretty good. Like, that's pretty safe, to be honest. Subaru's merciless words pierced through
そ
my
れでも
chest.
万博に出展するというなら、せめて歩行可能ぐらいにはしておかないと話になりません。
今の設計図でも歩くようになってるし。
残念ながら僕の予想ではあれは歩けませんね。
なんで？
He's probably right, to be honest.
設計図通りに作ってないからです。
いや、そんなことは。
逆に聞きますが、部長は設計図通りに作っていると胸を張って言えますか？あの試作1号機を。
当たり前だよ。作ってるよ。
いいえ、作ってませんね。
Subaru pulls up the Gundam Build 1 blueprints on his phone droid, then shoves the screen right up to my nose.
この書き足しは何です？
それは歴代のロボ部員がいろいろ改良を。
改悪でしょ。
お金もパーツもない状況でやりくりしなくちゃいけないんだから大変なの。希望通りの大きさの材料がもらえるとも限らないし、加工するのだって簡単じゃないし、譲ってもらえた材料をちょっとでも無駄なく使い切ろうとしていろいろ工夫してやったらああなったって。うちは前の部長からそう教わったし、前の部長はその前の部長から教わってきたんだから。
つまり要約すると、設計図通りには作っていない。
まあ要約すれば。
おかげで随分といびつな形になり下がってますよ。設計者とこのロボがかわいそうだと言っておきます。
じゃあこの書き足しを全部消して最初の設計図通りに戻せば。
戻せるんですか？もう試作1号機はかなり出来上がっているんでしょ
？7割くらいは。
So she's about 70% done, and they've only used 1,000,000 yen, when the average at that time supposedly is 10 billion. So you've got to at least say that's pretty impressive, even if it's only been 9 years. Like,
だったらナンセンスですよ。
no one else has been able to do it as good. Nonsense. Oh, that'll get me every time, man. It's so funny.
じゃあスバルはどうしたいわけ？
I'm clearly upset with him, but his expression stays the same.
設計図そのもの、それとこれまでに組み立てた試作1号機の。
Subaru seems to purposely pause. Then he pushes his glasses up with a
破
finger.
棄です。
They should be discarded. I doubt my ears. I can't believe it. I never thought for a moment that he would say those words.
何しれっと言っちゃってんの？せっかく教頭先生に処分されちゃうピンチを免れたっていうのに、まさかスバル教頭先生の回し物？
そう思いたいならどうぞ。
He laughed at me again.
最初から作り直した方が早いとここまでのディスカッションで理解してもらえたはずですが。
What discussion? Subaru's just been going on and on about his own ideas.
設計は僕がします。無駄な部分は徹底的に排除する。具体的にはそこのメモにも書いておきましたが、2点あります。その1、内蔵コックピットの排除。今は遠隔操縦タイプが主流ですし、オペレーターが乗り込むことに合理性はありません。
ストップ！コックピットなくすって正気？オリジナルのガンバレルだって元気くんがちゃんと乗って操縦してるよ。巨大ロボは乗り込んでこそでしょう。
部長は鉄人28号を否定すると？
そうじゃなくて、
そもそもガンバレルをモデルにすることにも僕は否定的なんですがね。どうせモデルにするならせめてもっとリアルで再現のしやすそうな機体にすべきです。カートルーパーはデザインの時点で嘘をつきすぎている。
カートルーパーじゃなくてカートルーパー。
Subaru couldn't care less about my correction.
でもそれについては別にどうでもいいです。どっちにしろ。
どういうこと？
提案その2として外装を取っ払います。
外装って側ってこと？
I never even considered that. Why? Because it's a terrible
設計図
idea.
段階から試作1号機は重量の問題をクリアできていません。ここまで組み立てたものは設計図に比べてもかなり足が太くなったようですが、それで歩けるようにするには大幅な軽量化が必要です。そして今のところ最も無駄なものは外装です。
I mean, if its legs are chunkier than normal, wouldn't standing up be fine? Moving would be the difficult part, for sure. But I feel like, yeah, it wouldn't be able to walk, but he said that standing upright would be a problem, which I don't think it would be a problem if the legs are bulkier than usual, because that would mean they would be able to support more weight above it. And if the part above it is not as chunky as the legs, then you'd be fine.
だって側を外したら骨組みだけになっちゃう。それじゃ頑張れるってわかんないよ。大地かっこ悪い。
かっこいいとかかっこ悪いとかの話じゃありません。動かなければただの鉄くずだということです。
そもそもコックピットも側もなかったら上半身作る意味ないじゃん。
If the cockpit was removed from Gun Build 1, it'd be no better than paper mache. The inside be
そ
hollow.
れにほら防御力だって落ちるし。
防御力？
防御力は防御力だよ。
部長は何と戦うつもりですか？
We're going to fight God. No.
万博では
Maybe
巨
a
大ロ
giant
ボット同士がロボアンのように
death
戦
asteroid or
うとで
something,
も
you know? Hearing him say that out loud is the first time it actually dawns on me. I've been working on Gun Build 1 for over 2 years now. To think it took me this long to
あ、そっ
realize it.
か。戦わないんだ。
The expo only has demos. While there are no set rules for the content in set demos, I doubt fighting is
アニメ
allowed.
の見過ぎですね。僕より年上なのに情けない。
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with watching too much anime, but if you let it cloud your judgment on the real world, then there's an issue.
何を正義の巨大ロボを戦うのが基本でしょ。悪い敵をバッタバッタとなぎ倒すために存在するんだから。
I can't see that going wrong. Nope, definitely can't see that going wrong. Nope, definitely not.
戦わない巨大ロボはただの巨大ロボだよ。また鼻で笑ったし。
正義なんていう価値観は相対的なものでしょう。そもそも今の巨大ロボット開発にそんな価値観は無意味です。
That's fair.
悪い宇宙人やらマッドサイエンティストによって地球が滅びそうになっているとでも？そんなアニメみたいな展開は現実のどこを探したって見つかりませんよ。あるのは純粋な開発競争です。技術力の最先端を惜しみなく注ぎ込んでのね。
あ、いや、別に正義っていうところにはそんなにこだわりはないんだけど。
Truth be told, it's simply because Misa modeled it after Gunbarrel, that's all. Gunbarrel is a giant robot of justice, and I'm building Gunbarrel. The Robot Club isn't specifically trying to make a giant robot of
正義
justice.
のは雰囲気だよ、雰囲気。
いずれにせよ正義だろうとなんだろうと万博では戦いませんから。
He's not
部
wrong.
長が巨大ロボに対してそういう幼稚な捉え方しかできないなら今すぐロボ部を解散すべきですね。その主張を万博会場で言ったら世界中から笑い物ですよ。
Subaru shrugs his shoulders and grins at me. This punk is basically an anime villain. I knew it'd be hard to handle, but I didn't think he'd be this much of a
ちな
jerk
みに
face.
せっかく7割型組み立てた試作1号機ですがそっちについては全ばらしにします。パーツの大部分を流用することで予算のなさをカバーするわけです。
I take a deep breath and hand the proposal back to
認
Subaru.
めません。
僕のここまでの話を聞いても
認めないったら認めない。
それであんな欠陥だらけで歩行もできない試作1号機を万博に持っていくと。
そんな言い方しないで。
Before I realized it myself, I've snapped. I felt like he was making fun of Misa, and I couldn't take it anymore.
そんなひどい言い方しないでよ。
It's so frustrating that it makes me want to cry, but I resist
ガン
the
ツクワ
urge.
ンは歴代のロボ部員のみんながコツコツと頑張って作ってきたものなの。ロボ部の歴史と同じなの。それを簡単に捨てるとかバラすとかできるわけないよ。うちはあの子を万博に連れて行きたい。お姉ちゃんが始めてみんなが頑張ってきた9年間の思いだから、その結晶だから。
I mean, I could respect that. I mean, he did just barge in here and want to throw away 9 years of work. I mean, I'd be pissed, to be honest. Like, I write books, obviously, which, you know, you can get your book on Amazon.com. I mean, very good. But, it took me 7 years to write it, and there was a lot of times when I had to throw it out and restart, and every time it didn't feel good to just throw away, you know, 80, 90,000 words of literature that I wrote to start over. But, you know, sometimes you got to do what you got to do if you want to be able to finish it and put it into a real product. In this case, I can understand where she's coming from, and it would be very, very hard to be able to throw it away. But if she does want it to work, she would have to start over. Sometimes it's necessary in order to create a better thing, you know?
だからスバルの言ったことは全部却下。
ナンセンスですね。
I can't take it seriously. Nonsense. I didn't know that they said that, and now it's just every time he says it, it's just so funny.
ナンセンスかどうかなんて知らない。これは部長命令。
I stare at him in the eyes and declare this clearly and concisely. After giving him a cold look for a moment, Sudo shrugs his shoulders
そ
slightly.
ういうことならこれ以上は何も言いませんよ。本来だったらこんな提案もせずにいきなり退部届を叩きつけてもよかったんですが。
退部なんてしちゃダメだよ。
しませんよ。したらヤシオ先輩がプレアデスの正体をばらすんでしょ。
そうその通り。
なので部には残りますが、部員として必要最低限の務めは今ので果たしましたから。
I mean, that's true too. He at least showed that he was willing to put in some sort of effort.
あとは僕も好きにやらせてもらいます。部長の手伝いをするつもりはありませんので、そのつもりで。失礼します。
Subaru coldly spits out his final words and leaves. I head to Kai's spot in the shade of the tree and space out while staring at the blueprints Misa drew
捨
up.
てるなんて無理だよ。
I joined the robot club because these blueprints in Gunbuild 1 existed. It's one of the few things that Misa left behind on the island, proof that she was once here. I could never get rid of that. That's fair.
どうも。
Alright, I attempt to shower Mizuka-san with the usual flattery once I enter the store, but there's no one at the register. Where could she be? I hear Mizuka-san's voice coming from deeper within the store. I take a peek and see her sitting on a step, doing maintenance on her hug.
どうも。
なんだ、カイか。
今日もお綺麗で。ふん。ハグのメンテ？
ああ、
It's been a while since I last saw Mizuka-san and her hug off. It was a gift from Misane after she joined XSK. The crash of 2015, I assume that's 2015, a fierce solar disturbance that caused global scale malfunctions and signal interference. That was when Mizuka-san was in a traffic accident, her legs badly hurt. Misane gifted her this hug. I mean, that would make sense. Like, I could just imagine right now, I don't know if any of you have seen Summer Wars, which is a phenomenal movie made by my favorite anime movie director. But in it, there's this AI that takes control of a lot of how the world functions, such as traffic lights. I just want you to think for a minute, if a solar flare were to act up and disrupt our electricity, traffic lights would go off, that would create a major problem, definitely causing people to potentially die. There'd be no internet service because all of the satellites that get hit with the solar flare would all be almost useless. I mean, it depends obviously on the strength of the solar flare because I believe there's solar flares somewhat often, but not to the extreme extent. But in this case, I could totally see that happening. It's just really interesting to think about how reliant we are on electricity and internet and stuff. It's just, man, if that were to implode, it would be pretty disastrous, would it not?
機械は苦手でも、こればっかりは自分でやらないとね。って言っても、やるのはサーボモーターに油さしたり、ネジを締め直したり、表面をきれいに拭いたりするぐらいだけど。
前から不思議だったんだけどさ、そういうのってエグスケ社の人に頼んでやってもらえないの？
一応担当のハグエンジニアはいるんだよ。この島には正規ディーラーないから、鹿児島から出張してくるのは月に一度なのさ。
離島の宿命ってやつね。
そういうこと。
Gotta love being in the
じゃ
rural
あ
area.
近くにある町工場なんかで見てもらうのは？
無理。ハグはブラックボックスの塊らしくてね。ハグエンジニアにしかメンテ任せちゃダメって買った時に契約書書かされるのさ。
へえ。
しかもメンテ代がバカ高い。
Honestly, sounds like a ripoff, yeah, but such is life, such is life. I don't want to say this since Misane works there, but I bet these tactics are how XGay got big so quick. There are quite a few companies that have a very similar issue, if you will.
大人の世界はドロドロだ。
なに分かったような口聞いてんのさ。
She smirks at me. Anyway, that's enough
水香
preamble.
さん、例のもの一つもらっていい？
Mizuka-san's eyes sharply narrow the second I make my request. They're the eyes of a predator that has spotted their prey.
今、手が離せないから自分で取ってきな。
I steal my resolve and take one passion fruit bun out from the steamer next to the register. As usual, it's warm and steamed just
いただ
right.
きます。
I wipe my tears away once it's all down the hatch. I can feel my stomach acids trying to come up my throat, but I keep everything down as much
う
as I
まかっただ
can.
ろ？
ノーコメント。
Mizuka-san finished her hug tuning while I experienced hell. She effortlessly reattaches it to her legs.
で、カイ。何が知りたいんだい？
I gulp down mineral water in an attempt to get rid of the horrific aftertaste. I breathe deep, rearranging my thoughts. Let's start with a light jab.
ロボ部のスポンサーになってくれそうな人とか会社とか紹介してくんない？
Yesterday, Akio was grieving over the fact that we can't use our prize money, so I figured I should ask while I was here.
外部にはならなかったんだろ
一命は取り留めたけどね。予算は結局出してもらえなかったし、ロボワンの賞金もお預け食らっちゃって。
カイも苦労が絶えないね。そうだな。手っ取り早いところなら。
A name escapes Mizuka-san's lips that I wasn't at
ミ
all
ッチーに頼め
expecting.
ば？
あのプロテインばっかり買ってる貧乏教師が金出してくれるわけないよ。
あいつは貧乏まっしぐらだけどね。おじさんがなんとかって会社の社長やってるのさ。
マジで？
This is news
ち
to
ょっ
my
と癖の
ears.
強い人だけどね。うまく心をつかめば金出してくれるかもよ。
Michi's uncle, I can't even imagine what sort of person we're dealing with. Actually, I'm not sure I want to meet him. Granted, I wouldn't be the negotiator here. This one would be
他
Akio.
にもスポンサーになってくれそうなところ、私の方で探しといてやるよ。不況だからそうそう見つかんないだろうけど。
よろしく。
Now for the real
じゃあ
deal.
本題。
Alright.
まだあるのかい？だったらもう一つ、あれを。
Mizuka-san's eyes point to the steamer. I recall the taste from a few moments ago, and once again feel my stomach juices trying to push their way up. I feel like throwing up, but desperately hold it back. Consider it my way of showing that 2 a day is
しょう
impossible.
がないね。で、なんなのさ。
宇宙が丘公園に幽霊が出るっていう噂話について。
幽霊？出るの？
それを知りたいんだけど。
って言われてもね、そんなの情報提供のしようがないじゃないか。そういうオカルトとか都市伝説については私より詳しい子知ってるけど、どうする？
助かるよ。で、誰？
こないだ別件で紹介してやったろ？大徳純奈。
There it is.
そうなの？
Yet another unexpected name pops up. I guess she isn't just a
あ
karate
りゃ
girl.
マニアと呼んでもいいくらいだね。
This will be a pain, but it sounds like it's worth giving a shot. Uchigakura Park is an important place to me. There's nowhere else I can go to really focus on gaming. That's right, this is a battle to protect the place where I play Kill Ballad. Or so do I say to myself in an attempt to work up some kind of enthusiasm. Interesting. The next day, after school, I decide to go and have a little chat with Daitoku-san. Do we have anything cool on Twipo? Appearance is important. I mean, it affects how you look in pictures. Getting height. Okay. Juna Daitoku is... We're following her on Twitter? Chance or change. Might be a good change. I don't know. Wait. You're too funny. You're too funny, Juna. Don't... You're great. Going on a date or something? You've actually blossomed, Aki-chan. Congrats. I got it. Some weird man from off the island came and asked you to take a picture. Those are called perverts. You shouldn't talk to them. Is this really you? During club activities, you always stay in your uniform. I'm going to say that because I think it's funny. Getting hyped. Sure, we'll just reply to some tweepos, obviously. I decided to go and have a little chat with Daitoku-san. Here we go. Oh, a message. Maybe it's her. I sent her one earlier about wanting to ask about urban legends. Oh, are we just going back?
メー
Oh,
ル
no.
受信
Of course, I didn't know you were into urban legends, Yashio. If you like, I can teach you what I know. Meet up at the front gate after school? She sounds pretty psyched. This is giving me a totally different vibe from the one she normally has, but I might be able to get some valuable information out of her. She's my only hope.
カイ待って。
When I grab my bag to try and leave the classroom, Akio grabs me by the collar. She's on cleaning
ま
duty.
さか帰るつもり？
俺今日は掃除当番じゃないんだけど。
掃除じゃなくて今日は部活出てよ。あのね、さっきミッチーから聞かされたんだけど、新聞社が取材に来るんだって。
取材って何の？
ロボワン準優勝のこと。だからカイもいてくれなきゃ。
ああ、俺そういうのいいや。アキちゃん適当に答えといて。
いいの？じゃあカイのこともうまく言っとくね。
Akio grins at me. She sure does get carried away about
ってい
everything.
うかね、ロボワン準優勝って結構すごいことだと思うんだ。だからもっとじゃんじゃん取材の依頼が来てもいいはずなんだけどな。ミスタープレアデスの正体も晒したらもっと大騒ぎになりそう。
Yeah, but you don't want to do
そんなことしたらスバルくんってばへそ曲げてロボ部やめちゃうよ。
that. That's
分
true.
かってるよ。さすがにそんなひどいことはしないって。それでもうちらの準優勝だけでももっとチヤホヤされるべきだと思うんだけど。そうしたらスポンサーとしてお金を出したいって人もたくさん来そうでしょ。はあ、そうならないかな。
Akio absentmindedly drifts off into her world of
え
delusion.
俺もう帰っていい？
あ、待った、帰っちゃダメ。
なんでさ、取材ならアキちゃんに任せるってば。
それはそれ。帰ってば昨日も一昨日も部活来てないじゃん。サボりすぎだよ。
いやでもさ、俺ってロボ部にいてもいなくても変わらないでしょ。即戦力のスバルくんが入ったんだからさ、彼と二人でロボ作ってた方が絶対はかどると思うよ。
It's then that Akio lets go of my collar. She has a dumbfounded look on her face.
そんな風に思ってたの？だから遠慮して出てこなかったってこと？
いや別にそういうわけじゃ。
I try to speak, but she sticks her finger against my nose.
だとしたら考えすぎ。カイだってれっきとしたロボ部員なんだし。ロボワンの時カイがいなかったら決勝まで行けなかったんだよ。
I mean, that is true.
うちはカイがロボ部にいてくれたこと本当に感謝してるの。だから何にも気にせずに出てきてよね。
ああ、うん。
She's so sincere that I can't possibly correct her at this
い
point.
やー、よかったよかった。これでカイのサボり問題も無事解決っと。やめるとか言い出されるんじゃないかと思って実は結構ドキドキしてたんだ。
やめはしないけど、俺今日は用事があるんだよね。
用事って何？ゲームするとか答えたらこんにゃろうの刑だからね。
Considering what I'm usually up to, I get why she'd come to that conclusion. Wait, what the heck kind of punishment is that?
今日は違うって。大徳さんと会ってくる。
なんで？そういえば今日いきなりツイポでフォローし合ってたよね。いつの間に仲良くなったの？
そんなには仲良くなってないよ。
じゃあこれから仲良くなるとか？
Akio starts poking me with the handle of the broom she's
つまり
holding.
デート？若さゆえの過ち？
まさかそんな色っぽいものじゃないよ。
だよね。カイは女の子よりゲームを選ぶタイプだもんね。
He has multiple times, it seems.
さすがアキちゃん、俺のことよくわかってるじゃん。
そりゃ付き合い長いもん。で、じゃあ大徳さんと会って何するの？
平穏なゲームライフを獲得するための悪巧みかな。
何それ？
I figured she wouldn't understand, but it'd be a real pain to explain this from the start
そ
to
れ以上の
finish.
ことを説明してほしいなら勝負が必要だね。俺に勝ったら話すけどどうする？
カイのサボりも。
She squares her shoulders and goes back to cleaning. Yeah, I figured that would make her mad, but I know plenty of ways to win Akio over
そういえ
again.
ば賞金の話はもう諦めたわけ？
The 1 million yen prize for second place in Robo 1 has been seized by the school. While it'll be unusable as club funds next year, we'll have left the club by then. We won't have it by the expo. Akio shakes her head while sweeping the floor with the
う
broom.
んだってね、いろいろ方法はないか考えてみたんだよ。別の誰かに立て替えてもらうとか。でも結局それって誰かに迷惑かけちゃうかなって思って。
I feel ya.
できれば正々堂々と作ったロボで万博に行きたいじゃない？
志は立派だね。でも実際他に資金調達の当てとかある？
あるわけないよ。昨日ちょっとだけ中種のお店とか回って交渉してみたけど、ちっとも相手してもらえなかったし。一応2000円だけカンパ集めたけど。
2000円じゃロボクリニックからの借金すら返せないじゃん。
Damn. Akio's clearly
う
dispirited.
ん毒に合わせる顔がない。というかあったら殺される。
じゃあさ、ミッチーにスポンサー紹介してもらえなよ。
あんな顧問なんて飾りです。偉い人にはそれがわからんのです。
Ouch, that's harsh. I mean, he is a teacher and the Robotics Club advisor. He was even the first club president. But I guess after getting to know him for the last 2 years, she's lost all trust in him. Time for me to drop the
ミ
bomb.
ッチーの親戚が会社の社長やってるらしいよ。
I try and deliver the info as casually as possible. Akio throws her broom aside and closes
そ
in
の
on me.
話詳しく教えて。
That's good. All right. Well, that'll be the end of this episode. I hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Let me know in the comment section if you like this style. With visual novels, I try to add my own keep every now and again, but it is a lot of reading and a lot of talking. So I just want to make sure that you guys are all, still having a good time. I know it's for kind of a niche audience, but make sure you guys hit the like button and let me know in the comment section what you think, and we'll see you all next time.